Hey everyone, it's Mr. Fulfillment, and welcome to part 2 of our feature on warehouse personnel and culture, where a lot of the times during peak season, we really just focus on the outbound order volume, the work that's directly in front of us, but we really want to touch on the human side in a time marked by the pressure and fatigue of peak season. So now that Black Friday and Cyber Monday are gone, we're not in the clear yet. We still have several more weeks to go left in the holiday shopping season, and it's a long, grueling, grinding way before the surge really starts to die down. So last week, we showed you a couple of the tools that ShipHero provides to help you manage your people's performance, the workload that you have going on, the dashboards, the labor tracking, and even parts of gamifying the warehouse floor. But the issue is these tools don't really manage the people. That's what the leaders do. And that would be the art of warehouse and people management. So today I've brought in 2 very special guests who are experts and in the trenches right now making that happen. So I've got Logan Bates. He's the general manager of the Jacksonville warehouse. And I've also got Jasmin, the general manager of the Salt Lake warehouse. They handle massive volumes for some of the biggest brands in the network. So we've seen every personal challenge that you can imagine. So Logan, if you could tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do for LBK.
So I'm the general manager in Jacksonville. I've actually been in the 3PL fulfillment side for going on 9 years now. When I started, we started with like a bootstrap company. We started from the ground up, hand-me-down printers, small warehouses. We almost started like a dental office, and then we moved into like 20,000 square feet. And then now I think we're sitting in, it's like 141,000 square feet. And so I never thought I would fall into warehousing. I ended up falling in love with the problem solving every day. Every day is a new challenge. And then, meeting new people. The staff side is the fun part as well, dealing with the different personalities, working with different people from all walks of life. We're grateful enough to work with like entrepreneurs who've been doing it for 20 plus years. There's a ton of knowledge in the warehouse and e-com world in the 3PL side. And it's just, it's fun. I have a good time doing it, and I wouldn't change anything up to this point.
Awesome, man. I can absolutely relate. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us. Jasmin, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
I've been in warehousing for about 15 years, more on the fulfillment side for 5. And yeah, instantly fell in love with the problem solving, collaboration, puzzle part of it all. I love to find flow, all those types of things. I am an inventory soul. And so trying to look into those things and deep dive into, especially a software like ShipHero, and be able to resolve issues or questions and just to be able to track things like that is something I definitely got, I don't want to say addicted to, but like I enjoy those tasks. I enjoy those problems, and feeling like we're able to achieve goals by using our resources and each other to be able to come out with positive, flow and outcome and production. So for me, I just, work here. But yeah, I love warehousing. It's been my lane, and I don't feel like I'm necessarily going anywhere anytime soon. I've definitely found a love for it.
I love hearing that. And I think we can all relate. Anybody who's in the fulfillment world, it's rare, if ever, that somebody chooses this life. It's more like the fulfillment life chooses you and you just fall into it by happenstance. I may be one of the few rare exceptions to that, but been doing it a very long time. So thank you both again for being here. So again, while we're on that topic of peak season, the high stress demands, one of the most common issues that warehouses face is labor and staffing shortages, right? The volumes will increase 30, 40, 80% or more. We got to have bodies in the warehouses to help do that work. And a lot of that peak staff can be hired on as temporary workers, seasonal workers. So Logan, could you tell me a little bit, how do you bridge the gap between the part-time and the full-time employees on what work they do and how you make them feel like part of the team?
So we try to treat everyone as their equals. And so like when people come into us, we try to like say, hey, this is like an open tryout for y'all. This is not, you just come in, you're a temp worker. We're just going to you're going to do the worst work in the warehouse. We're just going to leave you on the side. You're not included. Even when we do like the seasonal dinners or the holiday eating or anything like that, we include them with the team. We include them in the head count. We buy them food. We take care of them. And, I would say the door's never shut for the temp workers, seasonal. If they love it, because some of them come into warehousing or have never done it before and they fall in love with it as well. And then they're like, hey, can I get a full-time position? And, I'm a very competitive person. And so the next man up. And so if you can actually compete and you can do good numbers and we can use you as an asset to make us better, then, the floor is open. Y'all can come in, show us what you do, and then get a full-time position after the holiday's over.
I love hearing that, just giving everybody kind of an equal opportunity to really earn their keep and earn their position. Jasmin, what's your take on that? Do you do anything different to kind of assign workload responsibilities to temps versus your full-time employees?
Mine's very similar to Logan's. I just do have some restrictions with temp workers and or seasonal, just the way they enter in to just guinea pig them on some tasks before I trust them with larger tasks where it could cause any kind of complication for us. But once they are proven that they're capable of doing the tasks and they can listen to instruction, follow our processes, all those things in line, then I like full speed ahead. Like, we can do this, you're trusted, and we're going to put you in other places. But absolutely, if you're a good fit with the team and our culture and everything else with that, and you vibe well with everyone, plus you're performing, those two things together, you could absolutely earn a seat in our facility. And that's something that we do make known. Just, if you do prove yourself here and you're a good fit, absolutely, we're open to those opportunities for all.
That, I think, definitely goes a very long way when you have people who are coming in specifically as a temp or as a seasonal worker, to still give them a open door, an opportunity to prove themselves in a high, fast-paced environment. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of temperatures that are rising, that being able to pick out the people who are really up for the challenge, mesh well with the team, they aren't distracting from the culture and the environment. That's a huge opportunity and a huge win for everybody to keep that momentum moving and keep orders going out the door. So curious, beyond the digital leaderboard that ShipHero provides, the live shipping board to see who your top pickers and packers are, what are some other low friction incentives you guys use to keep this team excited in the day-to-day work? What do you guys do, Jasmin?
For us, we do small things like you get to be DJ for the next hour if you're the top packer, or things like that, to where it's small little things where they get to choose the vibe of the next hour or what have you. And just as Logan said earlier, the competitiveness of just chopping it up with the people to be like, you're 5 behind them, you're next in line, like, you're so close, like, do you want to listen to country again, like things like that, to just kind of talk the talk while we're trying to push progress and make sure that we're all hitting those numbers. It's just a way to make it fun and make there be a reward that everyone gets to see and or hear, that this person won and chose this for the following hour. So it's just something small, but it makes a difference, I would say.
Yeah, some of those instant gratification rewards can definitely go a long way.
For sure.
What about you, Logan? Do you guys do anything different over there in Jax?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing. The music, we let them choose the music and what we're going to listen to for the day. And then, it is a competition. And so we do oh, hey, so-and-so is winning today. Their numbers have been, they've been beating you for the past 2 days. And I mean, we try to make it just a friendly competition, but we do, we always go and talk to the people and the workers, and we let them know, hey, y'all are doing good. And it's just, but we do tell them, hey, you're far behind. And, we like to look at it from the network as well. So we do go into the network stats, and we want to, hey, you're losing to DFW, or hey, you're losing to Salt Lake. Like, so we do try to like, hey, like we're going to, we got to push more. I know we had like a network wide competition earlier this year, and like we didn't really tell people. We wanted them to actually see how they were going to compete at the end. And then we said, hey, you were the number one packer in the network. And so
whatever, Logan, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I think we want to do more. We do want to do a little bit more, like, I guess smaller, like low frictions. Yeah, we want to do more.
Well, because there's also the verbal confirmation, the verbal affirmations for people who are doing a good job can certainly just help keep their spirits high. I've seen that firsthand myself when you can point somebody out in front of the rest of the team, like, hey, by the way, this is the top packer, not only in our warehouse, but the entire network. Like, kudos, round of applause. Like that helps people's internal morale, and their psychology to feel better about themselves and keep putting forth that effort, which can become, toxic for the rest of the team, or maybe not toxic, but like it spills over, intoxicating. Yes, that is the word I'm looking for the rest of the team to want to have that kind of feedback. And, during the days when time is of the essence, we don't always have the luxury of saying, hey, we've hit our goals, we've hit our benchmarks, we're going to have a pizza party or a big celebration at the end of the week. How do you guys celebrate these small wins when we don't really have the luxury of time for a big party?
So in Jacksonville, I mean, we don't, the big parties are tough because, the teams can get massive, especially during like peak season. Like you can go from like 20 employees to a team of 60. And so it's really like you don't really have that time to actually sit down and throw a big party. And so like when you want to, you want to focus on the small wins. And so if the Packers are doing really good, you go up and down the line and say, hey, y'all are killing it today. And you just, we try to spread like the good vibes for the day. We want to keep everyone kind of moving forward. And, you never know what kind of day that person's having. And so we just try to always like, hey, y'all are doing great. We try to push them like further. Is there anything we can do to help? Stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's tough during the peak season on actually focusing on the small wins.
It certainly can be. What advice can you offer, Jasmin?
I think even just focusing on metrics alone to just celebrate, like I see you had a personal win, like at hour 8, like you had the most you've ever packed, like just details into that to knowing, or you've stayed super consistent and you heard my feedback the last week, like you're listening to me and I see it. Thank you. Like things like that, to just like that, the words of affirmation, if you will, type of like what he was saying, just giving it back to him and letting him know we see them, we appreciate them, and we're where that is. And just, getting on the floor and being obnoxious and just saying like, team building, hoorahs, things like that, to just have a moment to celebrate. You hit 1,000 orders before first break. That's amazing. Like different things like that, to be like, you should be proud. Just different things like where it's small, it's small, but and easy, but it's quickly overlooked by a lot of people. So it's something like to use those opportunities to just make them feel seen and appreciated, I think goes a long way.
It certainly does. Yeah, go ahead, Logan.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's easily forgotten. Like people forget. And it's like just even a simple thank you of like, hey, you did really, really well today. You showed up. You came in happy. The vibes were there. And so, it's just saying thank you to them every once in a while and saying you're doing a really good job at what you're doing. I think it goes a long way.
I mean, you're absolutely both right. When volumes are high, tensions are naturally high. That, fulfillment can be a thankless industry, especially this time of year when it is long hours, 10, 12, 14, 16-hour shifts sometimes. That a simple thank you, I appreciate you, here's a $5 Starbucks gift card or something, like it can really go a long way in helping to keep that energy high. But on the flip side, I kind of wanted to change the topic here a little bit. with the high tensions and the high volumes, if a packer is slowing down or a picker is making mistakes due to fatigue, how do you guys deliver that kind of feedback without demoralizing them? Jasmin, do you got any tips or tricks up your sleeve for that one?
I do like just a check in. Like I'll pop by the station, see if I can just visually see an issue and flow, and where it's like if I can instantly just say like something's off here, or have you tried this to help you, and coach them in that way. If it's just the person's having a hard time and going slower, I make them pop out for a minute. Go look outside and see the sky. go breathe about it. Shake it off. Have some water. Like we have Gatorades up front, something like that, to just walk away and take a minute to take a breath and then circle back, because I need a little bit more. I need one more push. What do you need? And even just asking them that, like, what is it that you need to be able to push through the last 2 hours? Like we're almost there. You've killed it so far, and we just need this much more. So like whether that is a step outside or a refreshment or something, to just have that conversation, to even see like, I see you, I notice you, I saw where you were all day, you've been killing it, I understand you're tired, let's just do what we need to do and circle back to just finish strong, something along those lines. But you just got to read the people and know who you're talking to, really.
Yeah. What's your take on all that, Logan?
So we actually, for a long time now, we've actually split like our three. So our employees actually get 3 breaks, and we try to split that up to try to eliminate like the fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
At first, there was a lot of pushback because people were like, well, we don't want to take 2 15s and a 30. But at the end of the day, like that 15 after 2 hours is actually huge, because you can go get water, smoke break, bathroom, whatever you want to do for 15 minutes to kind of de-stress and relax from it. And the same thing goes for like the supervisors and management. When you take those kind of breaks, you can use them as like a first quarter break or a halftime almost in like a day. And so, but going into like, when we start seeing errors and stuff, I actually, our inbound manager, Zach, I've taken a lot from him on it. And it's like, well, if you're screwing up, then we must, or if you're making mistakes, we must be doing something wrong. And so we try to like go and talk with the employees and figure out, what happened, why, like, how are you not picking correctly? I mean, with the AI picking from ShipHero now, and the pick-to-light cards is actually I feel like it's very difficult now to actually have errors and mistakes on picking. And so when something like that goes wrong, we kind of we try to walk through with them and see where can we improve and how can we help you? Like, what is going on? I mean, we're all a team. Most of the time you spend more time with your teammates than you do with your family. And so especially during the peak time. And the same thing as Jasmin says, the way she takes feedback might be different than the way I take feedback. And so it's learning. The biggest hurdle we've had to deal with was learning how to actually speak to certain people different ways, because everyone takes it a different way. Some people like it stern, want you up front. Other ones, you got to kind of like, hey, you want to be a little bit more kind on it. And so it's,
you just got to read it.
Yeah, exactly. You read the body, read the language, and see how like they're feeling. But the good thing about it all is the ShipHero reporting. And so, you see the numbers. The numbers are out in front. The data's out in front. So it's not like you're going up there to be a bad guy. And so it's just, it's just being there for it.
Yeah. And you guys are right. I kind of said it earlier that the tools don't manage the people, the leaders do, that it is very important to know who your people are, what their receptiveness is to criticism, and productive feedback and those types of things. That, you did bring up something interesting, Logan, about scheduling the breaks, the 2 15s and the 30, that sometimes it is difficult when momentum is moving along to say, hey, we've been at this for 2.5 hours. I need you guys to take a 15. That you're always concerned about losing that momentum and having that fatigue and the burnout happen. That what tools, what equipment, what resources or tips do you have to help combat fatigue and keep your employees productive through the whole shift? Like, do you guys have the anti-fatigue mats, back braces? Like, what are some things that you guys do to help avoid that?
Well, I guess the first thing, is the AI picking. Being able to actually see the steps that we save from using the AI picking from ShipHero has been like, you're already saving fatigue there. The same thing with the pick to light. You're saving time, and it's just those actually help. And we also have like the anti-fatigue mats, the packing stations. Everything is set up so it's like super efficient with the buttons. It's like we have a conveyor in jacks, and so the sorting is like almost waist high. And so we try to, like, when we go through, when we look at the processes and everything, we try to actually see like where we can improve, and actually, is this achievable and easy for everyone?
Mm-hmm. That's very important there. Jasmin, what do you guys do on in Salt Lake to help keep that momentum and the motivation high and avoid that burnout?
We throw leaders on pack stations and or on the floor actively to just like re-engage with them and say we're all in it together, and just something like that. Also the things that Logan did, but that's just something in addition to just be like, you're not just out here and we're pointing at numbers and trying to coach you. It's like, no, I'm going to actually beat you and I'll be number one in this next hour. Like, so like, are we going to do this or not? Like, and try to like get them just re-engaged. And then once they're warmed up, then it's like, they're back at it. We're cruising again. And if you have to step away to look at everybody else's metrics while you talk about how you're number one, it's just something you like to be interesting. Like, how do we get to this? And just knowing where we're at with those things. So I think just the teamwork mentality, not, just barking demands or coaching on metrics, but also being a part of it and alleviating some of those things. I did have a picker the other day that was having a hard time. We had over 200 items in one batch, and it was something that was aggressive towards the end of the day, and she was the last one in the building, and I just took over the car. I was like, get out of here, you've been here since the wee hours of the morning. I got it. Like, to just let them go, understand, like, I'm here with you, and I'm not trying to just leave you out here to be alone picking while the leaders are huddling about something. It's like, I'll do it myself. So it's something like that, just that mentality of trying to make sure that everyone knows that they're in a team and it's not just on their shoulders.
That is a huge point, making sure that the team members and associates can see the leadership pulling the weight with the team. It's one thing if they look at the manager, in their climate controlled office behind a keyboard, just having a conference call like this, and they're the ones in the trenches out there picking and packing orders. That it does go a long way to be like, you know what? I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I know everybody's tired, but let's challenge this a little bit. I haven't done picking or packing in a little bit. Let's see if I can beat your numbers. That just having the fun, having the energy, and resonating with the team that you are still there with them to help achieve that goal is certainly goes a very long way to keeping those that morale high. So at the end of it, though, it seems like at some point through this holiday season, every warehouse tends to like hit that wall, whether that's a specific day or hour where everyone just wants to go home. What, Jasmin, would be your go-to move? Whether it is a specific energy shift, the leadership tactic you talked about, going out on the floor to break through that slump and be like, hey, here's the finish line. Let's finish strong. What's your final thoughts on that?
I like to walk around and yell countdowns, basically, like, we have 250 left. That will take this amount of time. If everyone's hitting numbers, and kind of like just walk down every line, be like, so-and-so, you're doing phenomenal. You're hitting this number. You're weighing, like, everything is on your shoulders. You're doubling metrics, and then call it out as you walk, and even do the opposite side and say, are you going to let them take us all the way home? Or are you going to help your teammate because she's killed it the last hour? Like, to be like, she's why we're going to be able to go home on time. Are you going to help us? Like, type of a deal. To coach in those ways, I just feel like interacting with them, and like I've said the whole time, communicating, watching those metrics, and coaching to be appropriate too. But I like to do those countdowns to be like, we're at 200. Look at that. Like, we made it in faster time than it's expected, and you contributed in this way. And then the countdown below that. And then it's the final 100. We're on the final countdown. And then I start to sing.
You got to start blasting that on the DJ speaker.
You in the music, I start to sing. it's the final countdown, and just, just make it fun, make it light, and just be like, we're about to get out of here. And whether the goal is that we don't have to work Saturday now, or you get overtime or something, like we're doing it to meet this goal to achieve everybody's, result that they wanted. So
that's great to hear. And Logan, I know you'd mentioned that a lot of the tools ShipHero already provides, the AI picking, the pick to light, the pack to light, already saves a ton of energy, a ton of time, and a ton of walking. But, ultimately, people are still human, being on your feet for that long. What are some of your final thoughts on breaking through that slump and keeping that momentum high till the end of the day, the end of the season?
So it's almost piggybacking off of Jasmin from the last question was, and so I like to think of like the supervisors and management more of like we're the reserves or like that closer. And so like when you hit that wall, that's when I like to incorporate the supervisors into it. And then, we go start picking, packing, everything, like we sorting wherever we can get in. And then we kind of do the long hours with them. We pump everyone with caffeine. That's like the Red Bull coffee. I mean, that's the way to get through it. But that's where I feel like that's where your leadership needs to stand tall and show like this is why, like, we're going to make this together. And so when you hit that wall, I feel like that's when you add the supervisors, because it helps you just like gain that extra speed. It just helps you push through that wall. And then because then the workers, I feel like the employees see and you're like, okay, we do got this. We are going to do it. And then they have that belief that we are going to finish. And the same thing as Jasmin says, we don't want to do mandatory weekends or say, hey, we need to come in on Saturday. And so we're like, if we can get everything done by Thursday, Friday, the weekend's free. And so we're very like kind of like open on, I guess, the way to attack it. I mean, we like to just try to push everyone, and the walls do come and they do get tough and people get frustrated. And I just, you got to keep everyone positive. And I just feel like as long as you keep everyone happy, you'll be good. And so, that's my like kind of take on hitting the wall, and the walls come at different times. So
it's always unpredictable. You got to kind of roll with it the best you can. But really, there you guys have it. Recouping, or recapping what we shared last week, the tools that ShipHero gives you, really tells you the truth about the metrics, about who's performing, who's not performing, what your actual performance targets are. But it is strategies like these that build the trust. And that is the human element behind the warehouse operation. And really, in today's logistics world and today's fulfillment world, you need both to be able to survive the rest of the season, so to make sure that you are covered on the technology side and the people side. So thank you again. Huge thank you, both Logan and Jasmin from LVK. I do appreciate you guys for sharing your playbook, some of your tips and tricks for keeping the personnel and culture high during this pressured time of season. So good luck with the rest of peak, you guys, and we'll see you out on the floor. Let's get shipping.
All right. Thank you, Randall.
Thank you.